This is a multi-part video demo of how to migrate the PhoneCat tutorial application using AngularDoc's new migration tool. Part 1 is about scaffolding the hybrid application, where we mix and match both Angular 1 and Angular 4 components. We have cloned the repo and imported it into our workspace. Here's what the project looks like. Through AngularDoc's analysis, we found 2 components and 1 service. Now we can click on the Upgrade button to create a new project using Angular CLI. And we specify the name of the project and the directory where the new project should be created in. Now this is the newly created project, and there's not much to see here at this point. But note the migration menu, which we'll use throughout the migration process. And the first step is to configure the dual boot. So what is dual boot? This is essentially letting Angular CLI build our 4.x application, which wraps and bootstraps the original 1.x application. The entire configuration process is broken down into 5 steps. The first step is to copy over the original 1.x source code. So here you specify the root directory where we can find the 1.x source code. Now click on this link to open up the project in VS Code. We can see that we have this app directory where we copied the ng1 source code into. And we also have the src upgrade directory where we have the ng4 application. Now switching back to the migration tool, and we will notice that there's a new top menu that's added. And this is the result of our analysis of the ng1 source code. We found the same components and service in the original PhoneCat application. And in the migration menu, we have a bunch of new items showing up. But let's still go back to the dual boot page where we continue with the second step. In the second step, we're going to configure the dependencies in package.json. And the first tab, the System tab, shows the entries that Angular CLI created. And then the Project tab is the entries that we ported from bower.json. And then the third tab shows the dev dependencies that Angular CLI created. However, at the end, we also appended the type definitions for Angular 1. We will click Install All to get them all installed. And if you need to add new dependencies, you can use the Add button to add new entries. Or you can double-click on a particular entry and change the version number, for example. Now we click on the Done button to move on to the next step. In this step, we have some popular third-party client libraries that we can configure. For example, in this application, we use jQuery and Bootstrap, so we can click on the jQuery button and then Bootstrap button to have certain properties configured automatically. And this is all we need to do. And then we click on the Done button to move on the next one. And in the fourth step, we can already see that in the scripts session, we have added the jQuery dependency. And then in the styles, we have a bootstrap.css. And we can add the application-specific CSS files. For example, in the ng1 application, we have app.css and app.animations.css. We add them into this tab, and then we click on Save. And then the last tab allows us to configure the static assets. Here, for this application, we have 2 folders, one image and one the phone definitions. And again, I click on the Save button and then down to move on to the next step. But first, we can take a look at what we actually did to .angular CLI JSON file. So now, clicking on that link, we automatically open up this file for you to look at the content that we just modified. In the final step, we are going to add the upgrade module to app module and make it bootstrap the Angular 1 application. It takes a single button click, and we're going to do all the magic behind the scenes to get everything configured. Now, it takes a few seconds, but in the end, we see this message, and there's a link that allows us to open up the project in VS Code, where we're going to launch the terminal and run the ngserve command. Now ngserve has completed the Webpack build, and we can switch over to the browser, and we go to localhost 4200, and here's our application. We can click on a specific phone to look at its details, and we can sort alphabetically. We can do filtering by the name, and it all looks just like the Angular 1 application, but opening up the DevTools, we see this message indicating that we are actually running ng4 application. That's all for today. Hope you liked the demo. Please help us get the word out, and if you're interested in the test drive, please sign up using the link in the description.